Wrestling is full of mysteries, sometimes involving storylines and other times involving the lives of wrestlers. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the mystery of whether Rey Mysterio dated the lovely and talented Jennifer Aniston during the height of the Monday Night War. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. The year was 1997 and both the WWF and WCW were going strong, with wrestling still a big part of the mainstream. Wrestling was cool and it was common to see wrestlers in the media other than weekly wrestling shows, and on one occasion, WCW's Rey Mysterio was rumoured to be dating Friends star Jennifer Aniston. At the time, Jennifer was 28 years old and lovelier than ever. In addition to her role on Friends, Aniston was beginning to break out into films and her star was on the rise. Although it would be years before Rey hit the main event, Mysterio was doing well for himself and certainly no curtain jerker. Rey was no slouch in the looks department either, as in fact, one of the rumoured reasons WCW later had him lose his mask was because they felt his good looks could bring in more fans, even though this ignored the fact that Rey's mask sold a hefty chunk of the merchandise. Two good-looking celebrities, each coming from different worlds, it had all the makings for a juicy story. Is it any wonder that this rumour got started? Well, that question is easy to answer, but the pressing question is whether there is any truth to it. In 1997, tabloid magazine The National Enquirer reported that Jennifer Aniston had been smitten with an incredible hunk. The headline read, "Friends star Jennifer Aniston flips for incredible hunk, and she doesn't care he's happily married. Who is that masked man? Who's that jumping out of the sky?" Okay, they didn't say that. The story quickly led to gossip in the WCW locker room. Although the National Enquirer had a reputation for reporting seedy stories that focused on celebrity gossip such as divorces, cheating scandals and other substance abuse issues, the scandal sheet also had a reputation for breaking some big stories. At the same time, the gossip magazine also had to shell out the bucks after losing lawsuits for publishing incorrect information. People familiar with the National Enquirer knew that the story could be right, but there was also the possibility it was a wild rumour that made it to the printed page. Although Rey Mysterio was married at the time, he'd wed the previous year and Dominic was born in 1997, which some claim is proof nothing happened. At the same time, wrestling fans know the life on the road can be a tempting one, and it's possible Rey and Jennifer could have hooked up to wine and dine and hit the 619. If so, it would have been one of wrestling's greatest celebrity hookups, but there is an easier explanation: a publicity stunt. Wrestling promoters are notorious for working the media in order to get free publicity, so don't rule out the possibility that WCW, which brought in celebrities for matches such as Dennis Rodman, Karl Malone and Jay Leno to boost buy rates. Whatever the case, the story blew over, but it was brought up to Jennifer Aniston. According to one anecdote, Jennifer was asked if she was dating a wrestler and she replied, "The Phantom?" She seemed to have little idea who Rey was, but was this just a way to cover up an extramarital affair by playing dumb? The story has been persisted through the years and is often mentioned in articles discussing WWE Urban Legends. The rumours were big enough that Rey discussed it in his memoir Rey Mysterio Behind the Mask, where he denied the story but claims he was the first person to buy the issue of the National Enquirer and he even showed it to his wife. No doubt it must have been an ego boost for Rey that he had been linked romantically to one of the most desirable women on the planet at the time. Other than the National Enquirer story, there's no evidence anything happened, as both Aniston and Mysterio denied the rumours. Despite these denials, the subject was recently brought up to Eric Bischoff on his podcast 83 Weeks. In 2019, co-host Conrad Thompson asked Eazy-E about the story. Bischoff gave a surprising reply, telling Conrad that Rey was living large at the time and that the story was 100% true. Thompson couldn't believe it, and he shouldn't have, because Bischoff was joking with him. After comparing the National Enquirer to Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer newsletter, ATM Eric answered,
"I'm not sure. I wasn't involved in it. I can't imagine it. Nobody in our office at that time, it would have probably been Alan Sharp. He had the best contacts, outside of Atlanta. But I don't think Alan ever had a contact with National Enquirer because we never really engaged with them prior to that. We didn't engage with them after that. So it had to come somewhere, or maybe they just made it up, maybe, who knows?"
Short of Rey, Jennifer and Eazy-E working the fans, the mystery appears to be solved with there being zero evidence Rey and Jennifer Aniston ever dated, hooked up or even exchanged phone numbers. In any event, there is a friend/WCW connection, as Jennifer's friend's co-star Courtney Cox did date and marry a WCW heavyweight champion, none other than David Arquette. How he ever became WCW champion is probably another mystery we'd talk about in another video. But there you have it guys, the mystery of whether Rey Mysterio and Jennifer Aniston ever dated. While some of the mysteries covered in our videos may never be answered conclusively, this is one mystery that Wrestlelamia is treating as a closed case. What do you think of this wrestling mystery, and which wrestling mysteries would you like us to cover in future episodes? We'd love to do one on subliminal messaging in WWE's themes, and of course, one of the biggest urban legends in wrestling history, were their two Ultimate Warriors, and the origins behind the urban legend. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.